So today we're going to be talking about coaching versus teaching. Now, at the beginning of this video, you might think that these two have a lot in common or are pretty much the same thing and the distinction won't be very significant, right? But I want to take this time to show you that it is. So the first thing we have to do is define coaching. Coaching, defined by the Oxford Dictionary, is training or instruction. It's a little bit more of do this, right? So in the form of sports, this comes in the form of, let's say, basketball, where the coach is now in a game situation and he has to tell his players, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to do it, and he has to decide who's playing and decide who's not going to play and decide when to play the players that he's decided to put in the game. And all of these things go into coaching. It's more of a do this scenario. Whereas teaching is a let me show you how to do this scenario. There's a lot more time and an intake involved in what teaching is, right? So teaching defined is to explain or to help, right? So this first picture I'm going to show you is a picture of a really famous coach. He's been coaching the Michigan State Spartans for at least 15 years, I think more. And a couple years ago, he got in a bit of hot water because he always looks like this on television. He is a yeller, he's a screamer, he gets after his kids, and he demands a lot from them, right? A couple years ago, he went so quickly after one of his kids that he got a lot of backlash from the media, people saying that he should be fired. Why does he act like that on the court? That's not a good example, these sorts of things. Now, however you felt about that, this was him coaching, right? And he's done a lot of winning doing it. But what is way more important is this, and this is him, same guy, teaching, right? So this is the other 98% of his job that nobody else sees because we're all watching the 40 minutes that he's on the court coaching his guys, right? So this is the part where it all happens. This is the part where we're explaining to the kids what we want, how we want it, what it means to be able to do this correctly, why it helps us. That way when you get to the part where you have to coach, your kids know what they're doing and they can execute those things, right? So the question I had is, which one are you? Whether it's sports or fine arts or it's parenting, how do you do these things, right? We could coach. We could just tell people or kids or inferiors to do things. We can just tell them to go do that and expect it, or we can come alongside them, we can show them, we can walk them through it, we can explain this is why, this is how, this is why it matters, and then we can expect it from them. So what I hope you'll take away from that is that teaching must become more important, not just in a sports metaphor or a coaching scenario, but in lives and in our daily lives and in the way that we interact with each other, the way that we interact with the people that are younger than us or inferior in knowledge or wisdom from us. We cannot simply coach them to be who we'd like them to be. We need to teach them how to be. Now more than ever, kids see rather than hear. They've always got electronics and things in front of them and screens, and they're seeing more than ever. And we have to take that into account when we talk about how we're going to teach. We cannot simply tell kids to go do something. We have to show it, we have to put it in front of their faces, we have to teach it well, and then we can expect things from them.